If you or your student is preparing to take the ACT and you want to get the answer to the $1,000,000 question of what is a good ACT score, then this video is for you. Our team has poured through data on the average ACT scores to help you get a better understanding of how your score stacks up. And as an addition, in this video, I'm going to give you some tips on how to set and reach your target ACT score. So stick around until the end of the video. Now, despite changes in recent years to college entrance exams, the ACT is still an important part of the college admissions process. As many US universities and colleges, even those that claim to be test optional, still regard the ACT as a good predictor of a student's college readiness. And with an impressive ACT score, you or your student can begin to open doors to many opportunities that would otherwise remain closed, such as qualifying for competitive merit scholarship. Before we get into the ACT average scores, let's discuss how the ACT is scored. The ACT is scored on a scale from 1 to 36, with 36 being the highest possible score. The four main sections of the ACT are the English, the math, reading, and science sections, which are graded independently from a scale of 1 to 36. And the average of these section scores will give you an overall score that's also called a composite ACT score. Now, here are some crunchy stats about the ACT in the most recent year of 2023 that you can nibble on. In 2023, about 1.4 million students took the ACT, which represents a 22% drop from the number of students who took the ACT in the pre-pandemic year of 2019. This drop is attributed to the rise of test-optional college admissions requirements since 2019. The national average composite ACT score in 2023 was 19.5, and that score holds the record for being the lowest observed national average ACT score in the last 3 decades. Furthermore, ACT scores have also been on the decline in the last 5 years, with the score decline between 2022 and 2023 being one of the most severe year-over-year declines in average ACT score history. And when you look across national average scores of the individual sections of the ACT in the last 6 years, the English section has continuously been the lowest, while the reading section has been the highest, with the math and science sections falling somewhere in between. Students looking to attend a state school might be interested in ACT scores at the state level to know how they compare to other in-state students. The state with the highest ACT score in 2023 was Connecticut, with a composite ACT score of 26.4, while on the other side, while the state with the lowest reported ACT score was yet again Nevada, with a composite ACT score of 17.2. So if you were planning to attend an in-state university in Nevada with an ACT score of 19.5, which was the national average in 2023, you will still be above your Nevada peers. However, when comparing ACT scores between US states, it's important to also consider the percentage of graduates from each state that took the ACT in that year. For example, while Connecticut reported the highest ACT score in 2023, only 8% of Connecticut graduates took the ACT in 2023. Thus, the reported ACT score from a state like Connecticut is drawn from a very small sample compared to a state like Nevada, where 100% of graduates took the ACT in 2023. But knowledge of national and state average ACT scores only tells half of the story. It is also important to consider score distributions, also known as percentile scores, to get an accurate picture of where an ACT score falls relative to the competition. For example, in the year 2023, a composite ACT score of 34 falls into the 99th percentile, meaning only 1% of ACT test takers in the entire country scored higher than this number, while an ACT composite score of 28 and 31 fall into the 91st and 96th percentiles of all ACT test takers in 2023, respectively. But while an ACT score of 31 is without a doubt a good ACT score when compared to the rest of the country, it might be the average ACT score amongst applicants competing for admission into some colleges. Take, for example, you were very ambitious and you were targeting one of the Ivy League schools in 2023, well, you need to have a composite ACT score above 34 to be a strong applicant. But as you can see, your target ACT score would ultimately depend on how competitive the pool of applicants are at the schools you're going to be applying to. And one of the best ways to find this information is to look at the student profile of the last year's admitted class. There you will find information about the ACT score distributions of the last year's admitted class. So for example, if I was applying to the University of Pennsylvania, I would find that about half of the students admitted in the class of 2027 reported ACT scores between 34 to 35. So now you know how to set or target ACT score. Let's talk about how you can raise your ACT score. score. Your first course of action will be to take an official ACT practice test to know exactly where you fall. And it is best to take this practice ACT test under realistic test-taking conditions. And a really good resource to find ACT practice tests is from this book right here, the official ACT Prep Guide book, which gives you 6 full-length ACT practice tests in print. And you can also take this test in an online mode as well. And how far off you are from your target ACT score will determine how rigorous your ACT prep will need to be. The next course of action is to identify the areas of the ACT where you are strong and areas of the ACT where you're weak. And this is where working with the right ACT prep resource, such as books, online courses, or working one-on-one with a private tutor become very important. And to help you find the best ACT prep resources, you can watch our reviews of the best ACT prep courses and private tutoring companies on the market, which I'm going to link down below in the description section of this video. Just as important is making and sticking to a study schedule. Now, as much as everyone thinks they can just study when the time is right, making a more structured study schedule and sticking to the schedule is the way to go. So whether you're going to spend 1 hour per day or you're going to be spending all weekend preparing for the ACT, you just have to find a study schedule that works perfectly for you. Now, it is important to remember that while having a high ACT test score can help to set you apart from the competition, it should never be seen as the sole determinant of your success in the college admissions process. All the information such as your high school GPA, your participation in extracurricular activities, letters of recommendation, and your college essays play a crucial role as well. So hope you found this video helpful and best of luck on your ACT prep.